everybody here. And then, all right. Well, hello everybody. How's it going? Welcome to SVA Student Life Meeting, first one of the year. Excited to be here. Excited to see everybody. We got some exciting stuff to talk about. We got a very special guest that I'm really excited about also who's here. But we'll get to that in a minute. First, I wanted to just go ahead and introduce the SVA cabinet that's here, and then hopefully anybody else that is attending, if you feel comfortable introducing yourself, I'll do like names, pronouns, major, any affiliated student organizations. Yeah, so I guess I'll start it off, and then I guess for the SVA cabinet, if you want to just like pass it on to whoever's next. So I'm Cole, and I'm the SVA Student Life Vice President, and I'm a junior, graphic design major, and I use he, him pronouns. And I'll pass it on to Sophia.
Hi everyone, my name is Sophia Isabel Maldonado Feliciano. I know my name is very long. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the president of the SVA. Hi everyone, and I'll pass it to Ashton.
Hello everyone, I'm Ashton. I use they, them pronouns, and I am the chief of staff for this year's SVA. And I'll pass it to Chloe.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Chloe. I'm a senior GFA major, and I'm the Student Life Membership Chair. And I will pass it to Allison. Is Allison in here? Yes.
Oh, hi. Sorry, it was muted. I'm Allison, and I am the Communications Director at SVA. I use she, her pronouns, and I am graphic design and humanistic studies major. It's nice to see y'all. Oh, did we pass it to who else?
We could pass it to maybe any faculty or staff that are here, I guess.
Okay, I'll pass it to Lisa.
Okay, thank you. Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Perrin, she, her pronouns. I'm faculty in the illustration department, and I'm also the co-chair of the Faculty Student Affairs Committee. It's good to see everyone. I think there's another rep from my committee here today, Rebecca?
Yeah, hi, my name is Rebecca Green. I usually go by Reb. I am a faculty member in the first year experience. And additionally, I'm an ELL specialist, so I'm teaching in the FYI, the first year international program. So thanks for having me. Oh, I think I'm supposed to pass it, but maybe you all know Mike and Carol. I don't know. I guess someone go next.
I can go.
Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Carol Martinez Doan. I use they, them, theirs pronoun, and I'm the director for the Center for Student Engagement. I also serve as the advisor for SVA. And I would love if Lakeisha, who was missed, would introduce themselves, who's another officer.
Hello, my name's Lakeisha, she, her pronouns, and I am the secretary for SVA.
I think I'm maybe supposed to be jumping in here. Cole's smiling, so I'm going to say yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Patterson. I'm the Vice President for Student Affairs. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I'm glad to be here.
And then, let's see, looks like if any other of the guests are joining. Oh, Shannon, do you want to introduce yourself too?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Shannon Ingram. I use she, her pronouns. I am the Director for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion here at MICA.
And then for the students that are joining us, I guess I'll just call on people. Meg.
Hi, I'm Meg, she, her pronouns. I am a senior GFA major, and I am one of the 2 co-presidents of the Micah Thespian Club. So yeah.
Awesome. I, for some reason, can't see people's names that have their.
I can do a call if you want.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Connor Wall, if you want to introduce yourself.
Sure, yeah. My name is Connor. I go by he, him pronouns. I'm actually a JHU student taking some exchange classes and just interested in what you guys have to say. It's cool.
Thank you for being here.
We have someone that doesn't have headphones, but their name is Lisette Rodriguez. She, her pronouns, senior animation major. And then we have Alexis, a senior film video major, and she uses she, her pronouns. Who am I missing? I'm so sorry if I butcher your name. Kashara Cortez?
I'm Kashara, use she, her pronouns. I'm a junior illustration major, and I'm secretary of the Black Student Union.
Susie Brent.
Hi, I'm Susie Brandt. I'm use she, her pronouns. I teach in FYE and fiber. And I'm on the Student Affairs Committee for the faculty.
We have someone who also said their name is Nathan Akri. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, I'm very sorry. Senior year, photography major, and they are the SVA rep for the photography department. We have Leah Lati, or did I say already your name?
You did.
Okay, my bad, sorry.
It's okay. Hi, my name is Leah. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a junior photo major, and I'm the president of the Black Student Union.
If those who I've missed, I'm very sorry. Could you speak up so I can, if not, then we can continue with the meeting. I'm very sorry. I'm a little confused of who has gone yet.
I'm Audrey. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a junior fiber major.
I think that's it, Cole. So
All
if
right.
we want to continue, thank you all.
Yeah, thanks to everybody for being here. Really glad that y'all all got to attend, and really appreciate for the student org reps. Glad to have y'all here as well. Now I'm going to pass it on to Mike Patterson. Mike.
Yep. I'm here to just do a couple of things really quickly. Couple of days, I think at this point everyone is aware, has heard that probably primarily through the hyperallergic article that Micah's faculty have delivered a no confidence vote towards senior administration, specifically mentioning 3 individuals: Sammy Hoy, our president, David Bogan, our provost, and Doug Mann as our CFO, COO. Our SVA officers asked me a couple of days ago if I would be able to as a member of senior administration, to respond or comment or talk about it. I said very quick and very hard, nope, I can't. And there's actually a very real structural reason for that. That no confidence vote goes to the Micah's Board of Trustees. The Board of Trustees is the ultimate fiduciary and governing body of the college. They hire and fire the president. And at this point is the Board of Trustees to respond to the faculty and work with the faculty. So I just can't step into that space. And I'm not going to step into that space. Our board will respond hopefully soon, but it's really their burden to respond. So after I said that to our SVA officers, they said, okay, that's fine, we understand that, but we also aren't sure how much students even understand what a no confidence vote means just generally, like in the field of higher education. most specifically in the field of US higher education. And can you just give a minute's worth of background on that just so folks can be grounded? And I said, yes, that I can do. So as quickly and as tightly as I can, a no confidence vote by the faculty, generally speaking, is considered a powerful indication of a lack of trust or confidence in whomever is named in the target of the vote. So it is relatively rare for a vote to carry formal legal policy implications. Generally speaking, they're considered symbolic, but don't minimize that symbolism. That symbolism is deeply, deeply powerful. And it, if nothing else, is a clear signal that faculty are unified and deeply concerned. At MICA, we are one of the vast majority of schools where a no confidence vote does not pull any formal lever in the college's bylaws. But again, of course, that is not meant to minimize this at all. Historically in the US, and this goes back decades, votes of no confidence can stem from a variety of factors, including labor disputes, fiscal constraints, disregards for principles of shared governance, ineffective communication, and many other things. And generally, when someone is named, it's typically going to be a president, a chief executive officer, they often are the same, chancellor, or provost. Although again, sometimes there are others that could be named, or you could go more general. I was also asked to just do a quick little bit of look at the frequency, like how common is this? And the answer is it is both not common and getting more common by the day. So it's kind of a both and. No confidence votes are absolutely and demonstratably on the rise nationally. There's a 2018 survey by educationdrive.com that noted that within the period between 2013 and 2017, so recently, there was an average of 15 faculty no confidence votes nationwide, executed no confidence votes nationwide, which is a rate 5 times higher than the period between 2000 and 2004. And I mean, a moment's Google searching will pull up that there have been executed no confidence votes all across this country just within the calendar year 2020. The entire State University of New York system, City Colleges of Chicago, Canisius, Eastern Washington University, Ashland University, many others. Again, this is not me trying to in any way minimize the severity or say that, hey, they're more frequent, that means they're less important. They are deeply, deeply, deeply important. And amongst our peers, just the fine arts peers, and I didn't have a lot of time to look into this, but since roughly within the last rough decade, faculty have executed no confidence votes at RISD, New School, and in Kansas City at least. Those are the ones I happen to know off the top of my head. So just in wrapping, as I basically already said, it's now the Board of Trustees' burden to respond. And you know, my assumption is I work with the board sporadically through the year as a vice president. My assumption is that they will respond fairly quickly. That tends to be their model. But I can't speak to what they'll say, what they'll respond, or what sort of path they'll chart forward. Frankly, I think we're all sort of eager to see how that goes. So that's what I can share at this point in time. Cole, is that you know, I hope that's satisfactory for what you were asking.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Mike.
Happy to.
Okay, so moving forward, go ahead and kind of talk about SVA as a whole, just before we move into the talking points. What is SVA? Well, SVA is basically the connection between students and administration, faculty, and staff. And if you have any issues, whether it's within the classroom or outside of the classroom or anything at all, we are your liaison. We are here to help you. We are the connection as a Student Voice Association. So I just wanted to say that. Here's some things that, a list of things that past SVA student life committees have worked on: transportation concerns with shuttle services, food diversity and access, and slow Wi-Fi, departmental space allocation, Title IX policies, health and wellness around MICA, decolonization of the curriculum, professional development for students, international student aid, and honestly, just whatever else you can think of, whatever else you care about. This is what we're here for. Obviously, some of these don't, like slow Wi-Fi doesn't necessarily apply right now because we're all virtual, but you get the idea. So next, I'd like to open the space up to any of the student organizations representatives that are present, or if anybody has any announcements regarding that. Nothing.
So this is an opportunity for any student organizations that want to share any announcements as it relates to their org. So if you have like upcoming meetings, upcoming events, definitely, you know, there's a little community here that you can share that information to.
Oh, well, the Thespian Club is really, we're gonna try to do some virtual productions, including like a radio play and a virtual variety show. But we were also really looking to collaborate with other clubs and student organizations right now. Like we were thinking about like the BSU or even like burlesque or something. So just like if anyone has any ideas of performance related stuff that could combine your club and ours, just come to me because we're really looking for more stuff right now. Thanks.
Cool. That's awesome. Anything else? Anything else I'm missing? All right. So next up, I'd like to reintroduce our guest speaker, Shannon Ingram, the new Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Shannon?
Thank you, Cole. It's exciting to be here today, virtually, to meet you all. As Cole mentioned, I am the new Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Director, and today marks 1 month of being at MICA. So this was a great opportunity for me to be able to sit and observe with students today. I reached out to Carol, spoke with Carol, who gave me information about this upcoming meeting, and I wanted to provide an opportunity for me to, you know, meet and connect with students, but also to answer questions that you all may have regarding my role and arrival. As I mentioned to Cole yesterday, the role of the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion is actually housed under strategic initiatives. So if any of you have worked with Dr. Sherry Parks, that is who is the Vice President of Strategic Initiatives here at MICA. The intention of the role of the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion is not to necessarily solve all the world's problems, heal the world and make it a better place, but more so to create some support, an analysis, and some accountability for diversity, equity, and inclusion as it pertains to MICA from a structural level. So my role is really here to support, to provide support to both the administration, but also to faculty, students, staff, and the community. So this is really a time for me at this point. I'm doing what I call a listening tour, where I'm just listening and observing and hearing concerns and hearing successes and things that are hopeful outcomes for the next month and year to come. So I did tell Cole that I was going to be brief and really talking with you. And then if you all have any questions, I'm here for the duration of the meeting to answer questions that you may have.
Thank you, Shannon.
Oh, you're welcome. I was
Appreciate
getting ready
that.
to say say Bueller, but I'm not sure if that's telling my age by making a Bueller reference.
I get it. I get it. twice. All right, cool. Well, thank you again, Shannon. Really, really excited for you to be here. And as you said, we'll be here for the duration of the meeting. So if anybody has anything they want to ask or anything like that, you know, y'all feel free, speak up. Oh yeah, and don't forget to go into the chat too, if you want to say something in the chat. All right, let's see, share my screen. 1 second, where'd it go? Here we go. Boop, boop. All right, cool. All right, so next thing I wanted to talk about was making friends, right? So like student life, obviously we deal with things that are happening outside of the classroom. And one of the things that some students have, you know, expressed concerns about with virtual schooling is like, you know, since we're not really in a classroom, like how am I going to meet friends? Like how are you going to meet people? Are you going to make connections? So that way, but I guess by the time you go back to school and you meet in person, you're not going to be like, you know, totally isolated. But so anyways, all right. So I have a list of things here, and I'm just going to go over them. First thing is the Micah app. I don't know if everyone has downloaded it or not. It's the new and exciting app available on the App Store and on Google Play. It's pretty great. It's already being used pretty frequently. There's lots of memes. It's pretty interesting, the sort of social culture that's developed on there. I love it. Check it every day. But yeah, if you haven't downloaded that, I would suggest go ahead and do that. And it's also just got lots of other resources you can use for if you want to connect with student organizations. There's a student organizations button you can click on, and it'll give you a list of the organizations that are active right now, like 15 or 20 of them or so. And you can get in direct contact with those officers. Also, it has a calendar for events, so you can see upcoming events, whether it's stuff like going on within the virtual fitness classes, which I'll talk about a little in a second as well, or any of the variety of things like Center for Student Engagement's putting on, stuff like that. So speaking of which, moving forward, the Connections Corner is sort of this new development that the school is doing, and it's supposed to sort of provide a space for students to engage and support one another while learning about campus resources. And it's pretty awesome. It's a way to meet people, and they meet twice a week, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, as well as Saturdays, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Highly recommend that. Next is the Micah Program Board. And the Micah Program Board is basically a way for you to get involved if you want to help plan really popular Micah events, such as the coffee house thing, the Micah Coffee House, which is like a way for, it's like a talent showcase for Micah students. There's like, oh man, it's so crazy. There's like animation and like poetry and like singing, dancing, like any kind of talent you could think of. That is actually coming up on Sunday, September 20th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you're interested and you want to hang out with people, see what crazy talents they got, you know, do that. Next is, community site leaders. This is an exciting opportunity for students. It's a semester-long paid student leadership position within community art and service programs around Baltimore. You can work with local Baltimore organizations and assist in ongoing programming and volunteer needs. If you want more information about the community site leader program, you can visit that first link, inside.mica.edu/CAS. And applications are still open, and that bit.ly whatever link is the link to that if you would like to apply. Deadline is this Sunday, September 20th. Okay. Virtual class or virtual fitness classes. So the fitness center is like yoga to like boxing and stuff, I believe, or something, or Zumba, functional fitness. There's a bunch of different things. La Blast. If you go to the events page on your Mica app, you can see it's all listed there. So, and you can click on them and you can add them to your calendar. Sorry, I was can't really see my phone. Okay, and let's see, am I missing anything? Oh yeah. The Center for Identity and Inclusion, they have an event coming up tomorrow night, the Mentor-Mentee Mingle. So.
Yes, please tell the freshmen all about it.
Yeah, does anybody here want to, who's this, Leah?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I can speak a little bit about it. I'm a mentor this school year for that program. And basically, I was actually a mentee myself during my freshman year. I think it's a really great program because you get to have somebody who's a freshman gets to have someone who's an upperclassman to like nurture them and support them and check in on them as they're, figuring out Mica and getting to know the place and whatnot. I know that can be not the same since we're in like virtual school, but I still think it could be useful for freshmen to have a mentor if they want.
Agreed. I think that's really important.
Yeah. So the event basically is all the mentors will be there. So if any freshmen show up, they get to know who the mentors are, what the program's about, and then we all just get to do icebreakers and get to know each other.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you, Leah. All right. So I'm actually gonna go back, and I believe Shannon has some questions for students. So I wanted to open that up again.
Thanks, Cole. So
Yeah.
I actually just wanted to provide another opportunity for SVA to ask any questions or just to create a space. This is the time where it's a judgment-free, safe zone of just conversation. I've had the opportunity to meet a lot with faculty and staff over the last few weeks, but never have I had an opportunity to talk with current students. I met with one student who actually graduated in May, and she shared some really insightful thoughts regarding Mica and her experiences. And she also shared some things about her experience with SVA. So she was heavily involved in both the undergrad and graduate SVA organizations. And so I just wanted to create a space and a platform for additional comments, questions, concerns, thoughts, recipes, song lyrics, poems, if there are any.
I have a question. I can So I wanted to ask, like, just in general, if you can provide us, like, what do you see us, like, what do you see, like, changing for Micah? Like, what do you want to, like, start be changing, like, in Micah? I know that you're the new, every time someone comes new, it's always, like, fresh new eyes, fresh, new feeling, and I just want to know, like, what is, like, your purpose? Not your purpose, more in the sense of, what is your, what do you want to do, what is your, you know.
Right. So Sophia, that's a great question. Thank you for that. So there is a lot of pressure for a new person to come into a new space, and I think that there's a lot of different concerns and worries and fears that Micah has, both internally but also externally, given the the global pandemic that we're all experiencing, as well as a lot of the social justice movements that are happening around the world and around the country. So for me, my ultimate and primary goal at this point is to really just assess the environment of where we are. And I'll share what I shared with the student that I met with last week. I told her a little bit about my background. I'm originally from Philadelphia, born and raised. I attended Penn State University for undergrad, and I was heavily involved in what we call the Black Caucus, as well as vice president for the NAACP. And I continue to have a sort of passion for social justice and governance. And, in my observation, I think that that's an area that, Micah is looking to change and maybe revitalize. I'll put it that way. So my goal is really to bring in my experiences, but also to really create a space that's larger, that allows us to embrace the diversity of thought and experiences that both our students, faculty, and staff have at Micah. And what do I see changing? I hope our perspective and our approach to how we are handling things that are happening to us and around us in a different way. So there's a lot of things that are happening that we just don't have control over, but there are a lot of things that we do have control over. And I think creating some processes and policies and procedures that will help create a more equitable, inclusive environment is going to be really important to everyone who is a part of what we call the Micah community. So Sophia, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay.
If anybody else have any questions, you're open to ask questions. This is an open space. This is your time to answer any question. You might be thinking this might be a little, oh, it might be dumb, or no, it's not dumb. We're always here for you, and we want to know what to do better, and what to do, and what to just in general.
Mm-hmm. And I think Cole did a really good job of reminding you all of the power that you hold as SVA and what your goals and your intentions are. And so I'm not going to be able to really be successful in my role if I don't have the opinions and thoughts and concerns that you all have as the student representatives for the student body. So I'll leave the door open. I put my email address in the chat. It will remain open. I will continue to talk with students. I'm meeting with SVA, the academic side of SVA, in next month. So, if you get settled in your space as you're in your classrooms virtually, and you come up with, with a thought or an idea, shoot me an email. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think we're pretty lucky to have you here.
I'm lucky to be here.
Well, cool. And thank you to Sophia. It's a good question. Good discussion. Looks like Shannon's email in the chat from Chloe. Thank you, Chloe. Well, cool. Does anybody have any further questions or anything that they want to talk about before I move on with Shannon or anything? I'll open it up again at the end too.
If you don't want to say any questions publicly, you are allowed to message me or Ashton privately to us. If you do not want to publicly say your questions, we won't say your name. You are allowed to say whatever you want to ask.
Very true. Also, if there's anything within the resources that I provided here on how y'all can make friends, meet people, please feel free to email us or send us a message. But ultimately, the main thing that I want to illustrate for y'all or express to y'all in this meeting is like to also reiterate what Shannon said is like, as students, we have a lot of power, and especially during these times, it's very necessary, I think, for us to speak up and to collaborate and come together and talk about things that are, you know, just on your mind. Like, what's something that you think you could see Micah improving on? And it doesn't have to be necessarily within student life right now, you know, like this is the email and then this is the Instagram. Feel free to reach out with any concerns y'all might have in general. But we're here for y'all. We're here to help serve y'all. Are there any questions? Any other questions or comments in general for me or for SVA or maybe for faculty that are here? Anything for Shannon?
I guess like I'm wondering, like for Shannon's sake, what might be some priorities from a student perspective that she should be focusing on in her work?
I think one, hi everyone, this is Chloe speaking in case I'm like not on anybody's screen. I think one thing that I think students at MICA and especially diversity, equity, and inclusion could focus on is creating more spaces maybe for our BIPOC students who maybe they have specific artwork or things they want to talk about, resources, things they've learned that they want to discuss that maybe in a predominantly like white classroom or white space, they're not as comfortable or willing to come up and talk about it. I think that's a little bit of concern that some students of color have had. So Shannon, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that or comments, but as a student of color, that's something that I think about and that a lot of others have.
So Chloe, thank you for that. I'm actually taking notes. So my follow-up question to that is, where are students in that space right now or in that group? Where are they going to right now? Where is there something that already currently exists? Is there informal spaces that are there for what you suggest?
Currently, since we're on a virtual platform, I personally am not familiar with anything. I know before the pandemic, the camp, sorry, can't talk. There was an organization being planned where it was like critiques where students of color could bring their work and discuss it with the diversity office staff. But now that we're virtual, I don't know if any other SVA officers or students know of anything. Please speak up if you do. But
I actually remember something that used to happen. I think it was my freshman and my sophomore year, but what the center, I keep saying senator, the Center for Identity and Inclusion used to do is they used to essentially do like a critique sit-in, especially when it came to BIPOC students who were, going to have class critiques on work, especially based on their identity. Essentially, they, would sit in on the critique and contribute when possible, just to make, I guess, everything more comfortable, or, add in things from a perspective that, would know more about what is being discussed in that work. I feel like there are ways that we can do that, because I really hope that continues, because that was very helpful, especially like for a lot of BIPOC students who are freshmen. I really feel like there could be something like a, I don't know, weekly Zoom meeting, or, just maybe sometimes members, when they have time, can, I guess, ask professors to sit in and, watch the critiques. I feel like there's a lot of different opportunities and things to, complete that.
Okay, thank you for that.
Okay. Anything else?
This might be more a suggestion, but this is more in general for people whose their language is not English as their first language. I do think also that one of the things that Micah should also concentrate is helping students, especially due to it being online, that students have problems, especially with their English, and sometimes they might not understand some things that professors might say. And I think that's something that should be talked about a little bit, especially with the Latin and Asian students who have just difficulties in general. I have received emails, especially from students from humanistic sides, like saying, my professor speaks really large words, and sometimes they speak too fast, or they don't understand that I need them to speak a little slower, because I understand English, but I'm not a professional English speaker. So I think something that could be looked for especially for internationals, especially.
So are you, for English as a second language learners, you're looking for some additional student support, especially given the current platform of the technology is how students are communicating with their professors. And so are you suggesting more additional support for those students?
I guess like additional support, but I also think that like professors need to be like, well, not like taught, but they just need to get reminded more of the, hey, you have international students. You might, if you say like, for example, a big word that they don't really understand, they're going to be confused, or maybe some literature is going to be more confusing due to not having the resources that we normally have in MICA, like having the heritage of the world, 1942 English, whatever. And students might be confused, and student might have more access to help, especially with the writing studios in MICA, and maybe they need more help.
Okay. And Sophia, as just a follow-up to your question, are there currently supports, let's say that we were on campus and we were in person, would there be a space or a current space where students who are in this type of situation would be able to go and say, I'm really struggling with, being able to understand my professor? Would there be a space typically, or is that has never existed?
I personally, I'm not an English speaker. I don't know if you can tell. I'm not a native English speaker, but personally, I was someone who had struggled with it, and I would go to writing studio a lot. for them to look at my essays, especially because I'm good at speaking, but I'm not good at writing it. And so I would go to writing studios and I would get help from them. But maybe it's because there could be writing studios. I'm not familiar if there is still an online still, but if there is, it should be more announced, and especially like reminded just a little bit.
Okay.
So I can provide somewhat of a response in this conversation. I mean, I teach in first year international, so a lot of the teachers that teach there have a lot of experience teaching English as a second language learners. So they do have a lot of extra support, especially like with their forum teachers, which I am one of them. But for students who are not in the FYI program, I think the Learning Resource Center, a few representatives from the LRC came to my forum class to talk about additional opportunities that there are for support. So there's the LRC, which can help more with like studio practice, organization, time management, reaching out to professors to let them know that they don't understand. So that's the kind of services that they can provide, and their peers. So it's like peers supporting peers, which is great, and also, you know, great for building community. And yes, the writing studio is still active. So these services are still offered, which is amazing. A bit of a problem though, which there's nothing we can really do to help this right now, I think, is that so many of our, well, all of our international students, which, you know, is not the same to say as all of our English as a second language students, but they're across the globe, right? So like meeting times have been very difficult to make. They're all of the time that, you know, is kind of convenient for us to meet with them is taken up by class. But I do think the LRC services can be super helpful for students who are here living in the States who might be struggling because English is not their first language.
And I'm sorry, I was taking notes. Who's speaking?
Oh, Rebecca Green. Sorry, yeah, I didn't say my name. Rebecca Green, I'm faculty in the first year experience and an ELL specialist and on the Student Affairs Committee.
So I know that we're coming to a close on the meeting. I just want to acknowledge what I'm hearing. There are some resources. There are some areas in blind spots where Micah has to look at. But one of the things that is often a challenge, especially now that we're not in person, is the awareness and the promotion of services that are available. So, you know, in one breath, we have a student who says, is writing studio even happening now that we're online? And so while we probably spend a lot of our resources focusing on incoming students, there's still students who are returning who probably need to be reminded of the resources that are available to them. And so I just wanted to summarize that and make sure that I received that message as it was intended, was that it would be helpful that if there are some resources that are currently in place, that students be reminded that they're still available even though we're online. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, absolutely, Shannon. This is Rebecca again. I'll just say one more thing, that even though the LRC was reaching out to all incoming freshmen, they did say that students in any year can take advantage of this service. So it is not only for freshmen, it is for anyone.
So Cole, thank you. I did get some notes that were posted in the chat. And so this was very valuable.
Good. Glad. Appreciate all the questions too. Looks like we have some questions in the chat. Looks like we have one from Leah. I think there should be more support process and structure interwoven into the different artistic disciplines that is inclusive to BIPOC students, so that spaces created outside of the classroom are in addition to not in place of. See.
And I've made note of Leah's comment.
Okay. Thank you, Leah. Okay. Am I missing anything else? Does anybody have any other announcements they'd like to make before we kind of come to a close? A little early.
We have a question. Is there anything specific that is going to be implemented for, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that.
For BIPOC, Black Indigenous people of color.
Okay, sorry.
That's all right.
So I will respond to that question. So at this moment, actually, I attended a BIPOC meeting yesterday that included leadership, the president, vice presidents, and so there is a former SVA president who is a current employee of MICA who is on the committee, and she actually spoke up yesterday and from a student perspective regarding open letter and other areas that she was representing. And so we are actually scheduled to meet very frequently in the coming months. And I will hope that from that space, there will be some things that can be addressed and, evolve out of that. So just so you all are aware that is something that exists and is starting to move forward from a faculty staff perspective. And I would hope that the agenda of the students is also a high priority. But I would say that as a member of the committee, if you all have suggestions or things that you would like to see in the upcoming semester, that you email those to me, and then I will be able to then communicate that to the committee and say, SVA is requesting these types of things, or they're looking to hope that we will explore some items as it pertains to BIPOC students. So that is in the works. And I see that there's a second to the question that there were some concerns that weren't met last semester that have yet to be tackled. So yeah, it sounds like these concerns that you're speaking of are on our radar.
Cool. Thank you for those questions. Thank you to Michael. Okay. And thank you, Shannon, too, again, for answering those questions. All right. So I guess going once, twice. All right. Well, again, I just want to reiterate, if y'all need anything from us, please don't hesitate to reach out. And I am really glad to see everybody, and I'm really glad that we could all meet together like this. Obviously, I want to thank the wonderful Shannon Ingram. Really, really appreciate you being here and talking with us. Oh yeah, student org reps, please make sure to sign in if you haven't. The Google Doc is in the chat. But yeah, it's really good to see everybody. Kind of weird doing this all virtually, but I mean, I guess at this point, we're probably pretty used to it to some extent. If not, I don't know.
I think all SVAs are pretty used to this by now, especially the new ones.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be weird seeing everybody's faces when it gets better.
Yeah, like physical bodies standing in front of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Sitting
be like,
across from
wow, I thought you were taller than you thought in the video.
Yeah, we're all the same height right here.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Oh, and thanks to all the faculty. Thank you to Lisa. Thank you to Reb, Susie. Big shout out to Carol as always. Shannon, Mike, thank you. Really appreciate seeing everybody. But yeah, if there's nothing else that anybody wants to say, I think we'll call it.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Any questions, just email. Thank you.
Yeah, email us. Great game. Good game. Good game.